everyone, and welcome back to the first semifinal round of the day, Jones Street Boys. We'll be taking on Turnbull ACS in this best of one single elimination to see who goes on to face off in a best of three grand finals to fight for the glory as well as the gems. Banned out Zeus, Mercury, Hebo, and Sun Wukong will not be making it into this match, but Hebo, after being banned out. Kronos is going to make it here. First pick for Jones Street Boys, left side of your screen. We also have Poseidon and Sobek. Poseidon, a character we don't see that often, and generally for good reason.
It's been quite some time. I mean, really, he's kind of really a one-trick pony, like you always say. If you Aegis his Kraken or dodge his Kraken with some sort of mobility, like, I don't know, Agni's Dash, Tyr's Dash, anything really, you countered pretty much his entire kit. There's not really anything he can do to follow that up until he gets the Kraken back off cooldown again. He's just so niche, and he only does that one thing. So he's just too easily counterable, and for not enough payoff.
Well, that's the thing is, generally his 2 doesn't do a whole lot. It just splits the attacks and does some damage, but generally, mages aren't there to do basic attacks unless they're doing Polynomicon, but that's a single hit. Not only that, but his 1 travels slow. It's a very small area of effect and doesn't do enough damage to warrant how hard it is to hit on a consistent basis. And so all he really has going for him is this Whirlpool and his ultimate in a very competitive, high action, high skill level setting. And if you miss either one or the Kraken gets Aegis, he just doesn't do enough. Now, obviously, if he gets ahead, he's scary. And at the point where you're forcing the enemy team to buy Aegis amulets, there is definitely merit to Poseidon, but on an even footing setting, Poseidon generally doesn't win out. He has a little bit of a lead against Agni. He's going to match up that in this matchup here. It's most likely going to be Agni versus Poseidon. Poseidon has a bit of a lead until Agni hits level 5 and now has 0 mana cost meteors raining down, harassing him and clearing the wave at the same time. And generally he falls back unless he can get an ultimate off, which, like you mentioned, Squid, if Agni can dash quick enough, he'll get out of that very easily. To follow up, we have Sobek, Neith, and Fenrir there for Turnbull ACs. Across the way, Jones Street Boys will have Artemis, Chunga, Agni, Tyr, and Kronos. Kronos most likely into the solo lane. Tyr can jungle. They have a very strange lineup here. They can do a lot of things with this. Tyr and Kronos can both jungle. Kronos more likely to solo than Tyr. And then that means that Chunga most likely going to be the support tank for their team. Agni mid lane and Artemis Hunter. Hercules hovered on here as the last pick for Turnbull. Nope, Guan Yu. Nope, nothing. Looks like this might be actually a remake here.
They look like they have a bit of an issue with that last god picking right there. I'm guessing it's going to be the Guan Yu. So it's like he tried to flip back and it just didn't register in on his trade there. But Artemis, good with their support Chunga, it's going to be a relatively interesting one. They definitely are going to have a lot of potential to just dump damage on someone if they want to go in with the Chunga and the Artemis ultimates both supplying them with stuns. And then on top of that, Artemis's trap going down, holding them even longer, and now the fact that Chunga has so much more damage available to her that she can use her 3, they're going to be able to go in pretty hard on someone to get kills.
Yeah, Moonflower Dance, the 3 you see up on screen right now, did have a damage component added to it. 170 at max rank, 30% of magical power scaling. It is not really that big of a damage, but that's really what Chunga needed, is some transition damage between her 1 and her ultimate. The Crescent Moon Dance, the 1 was really the only thing that Chunga was using for damage, and the ultimate was used for initiations and team fights and big bursts. But beyond that, she didn't really have any transition damage between the cooldown on her 1, which of course is 5 seconds. So now having those 2 abilities do damage, Chunga is much more offensive, and Artemis is generally going to be able to capitalize on that depending on how she gets played and how things work out for her. So as you guys are seeing on screen, we are waiting for the match to get restarted. It looks like the lobby actually closed out and they're going to get that all sorted out for the time being. But right now we're sitting at the semifinal round. We are watching Jones Street Boys up against the one, the only Turnbull ACs, and they will be getting into match pretty soon here. Across the way, as far as the other semifinal round goes, we are sitting at waiting for the results of Orphans versus Savage Huns, and then we'll be facing off. The winner of that will be facing off against Moonhunters in the semifinal round, going towards the finals to compete. If you guys have yet to see anything about the Divine Intervention charity tournament that is going on in December, we're running a day-long event today, where if you donate today to the Divine Intervention, which goes directly to charity, 100% goes to American Red Cross, you will get the opportunity to win a God Pack or 800 gems Minimum donation is only $1, so if you definitely donate, you will get something. Of course, it does enter you in the raffle and all the benefits for Divine Intervention itself, whether it be the Steel Series headset, mouse pad, or the keyboard. Luckily enough, they did blind pick instead of the draft pick that people like to do when they're remaking a game that just drives me crazy.
It just takes forever. What the heck are the names based on this week? What is
The
this?
Warriors.
Don't know what that is.
You don't know what the Warriors are? It's all the gangs and the Warriors.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The Warriors. There's a gang called the Orphans. Are you disappointed in me right now? You sound disappointed in me right now.
It's okay. It wasn't. I don't know. It's not really that mainstream. I don't think any like as far as like how many people in chat got the reference. I don't know. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the first semifinal round of the day. We're watching Jones Street Boys up against Turnbull AC. And now we are in the match, ready to go. The players are heading out. They've bought their items except for Poseidon, who decides he wants to wait a little bit. And there he goes, picking up his items, heading out of the base. Cover who's playing what, where they're going for what team. Jones Street Boys, the blue team. Bottom side of the map will be Spankle on Artemis. I just enjoy saying that name. Karyosis on Chunga. Marshmallow Man on Tier. Vastrakal on Kronos, as well as Heartless Guy on Arden. Across the way, the red team Turnbull ACs. I carried hard on Poseidon. Sages on Neath. We have IR Smooth there on Odin, as well as Dark Skull on Sobek. And of course, another snake playing a dog on Fenrir in the jungle as they're heading towards their buff camps.
I like that Marshmallow Man's name is so glorious it doesn't actually fit in the name box. And it's just slightly overlapping on either side. I wonder how bad you could exacerbate that effect with somebody's name. That is a question for another day. Starting off here, looks like Odin did actually change his mind. I was going to talk about his Stone of Gaia start, but he appears to have sold that and is going to be starting with the shield as well, as opposed to the infinite HP 5, I don't care about anything Odin pile that he was going for with the Stone of Gaia.
Well, one of the biggest things about Stone of Gaia, and something that, the reason we don't see it all that often, is the fact that it doesn't have HP on it. It has the regeneration, it has the ability to increase your magical protection, but the thing is, people always fight for HP. HP at low levels is your highest defensive stat that would give you the most amount of weight. So people go for things like Sovereignty, Bulwark of Hope, all those kind of things, and even the Ankh, who gives a lot of HP on the back end. And there are even considerations where you look at Soul Eater, which doesn't provide a whole lot of damage. It provides you lifesteal, attack speed, and the HP. 300 HP for a carry is huge, and that's why people end up picking it up. Right side lane, Tier's going to go for the damage buff. I picked it up and go over to the blue buff here by himself as Kronos goes around the way, cleaning out the lane. And look at Tier dropping so low in the jungle here as Kronos comes around to help this one out. They're going to back off of that one. Mid lane, Audi's going to dash away from Poseidon, who's just hipping and hopping away. And right here, you're going to see exactly what we talked about in the picking stage. Poseidon has an advantage until Agni hits level 5.
As soon as he gets those meteors, he is going to be pushing out and harassing like crazy. Tier nearby looking for possibly an opportunity here, but he might find Fenrir in the jungle, though he's going to back up far enough. Fenrir isn't going to even see him there. Meanwhile, in left lane town, this Chunga support pretty low. Everyone in left lane's actually pretty low right now. There's a charge spray coming out on Artemis, but unfortunately Neath is unable to capitalize because she is currently cowering in tower. I was wrong. Fenrir did find Tier and ate his face. But currently cowering in tower because her health bar is so very, very low. And they don't have the same kind of healing sustain that Artemis and Chunga have. So she can't poke out and risk being taken down by Suppress the Insolent.
Colonel's going to push up the right side lane against the Odin, who at a certain point will stop taking a whole lot of damage from the Kronos with that shield that he has available. Dunking to clear out this wave with Thunder's Might, and now going to push this one up mid lane. Poseidon's going to go through the jungle and head towards these camps, or try to gank the left lane, hitting level 5 and going right for it. Level 2 Tier going to find Fenrir, and Fenrir's deciding not to fight this one. Left lane, here comes Poseidon, not actually going after anyone. Poseidon ultimate going to go right through, Tidal Surge, Whirlpool, and a double kill for the King of the Broshan here, coming over to left lane, gets some kills. Tier by himself, level 3 now up against the Fenrir dog. He's going to back off of that one, does not want another bite from the Fenrir.
Poseidon has spoken. and they really did not see that one coming. One of the things about Poseidon's Krakens is when he's up against Agni, when you're in a straight-up fight with Poseidon, you know the Kraken's coming. So if you have Aegis, if you have some sort of escape, you're waiting for it. You know it's coming. You are ready. So when that Kraken comes up, it's very easy for you to avoid. Ping dependent, if Poseidon comes out of nowhere and you don't know what's coming and you're forced to reflexively react to a Kraken, it can be very difficult to do anything in time. And in that left lane composition, Artemis doesn't even have anything she can do. I mean, Chunga could try and dance and get out of it, but there's nothing Art could do. No active items will protect her from that. She doesn't have Aegis, so there's really no way she could have avoided that death.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Artemis to be in. Trying to burst him down if they possibly can, but really her only bet, if she doesn't have the Aegis damage, it's just to hope that she lives through it and then gets the follow-up damage off of her. But the Whirlpool on the ground definitely prevents that from happening. Mid lane, Agni going to push up against Poseidon here as we see the right side lane. Chronos going to push up against the Odin. Odin's getting a little bit pushed back here across the board. 2,700 gold for him. Chronos posting 2,700 as well, so they're pretty tied up. But look at the jungles right now. Tyr sitting at 2,400 versus Fenrir's 2,900. A 500 gold differential between the two junglers. That is a pretty big gap, especially given the fact that Tyr's jungle clear is not that fast. Now, it's effective. He has the heals, but the fact that his 3 has a long cooldown, he relies heavily on Hand of the Gods, and now Tyr's going to have a trouble time keeping up.
It's going to be difficult. He's one of the worst gods to get behind, like you said, and especially losing that physical power potion. That's a big pick they have there. Left lane, we got a bit of a battle going on. So we're trying to go in on Chunga, but unfortunately she's pretty hard to pick off. Sobek looks like he's just going to go in with his ultimate right now. Doesn't have tower aggro because there are some enemies there. The Need ultimate almost kills Chunga. She's alive. Fires her ult, almost panic. Like just a panic ult there. Didn't hit anyone. Fenrir's Brutalized going to finish off Artemis as well. And now the Tyr who has rotated it is in a very bad spot. But Neith unfortunately doesn't have anything left to finish up. Poseidon going right into the tower. Might look for a Kraken. Looks like he's not going to. They're just going to back out as Chronos teleports in for defense. Fenrir getting stunned right on the edge of tower. He's going to be able to get away here.
Agni needs to get much more aggressive right now. Clear out this wave and push this tower hard. Seeing as Poseidon left, the right side lane's pushing up. He needs to be much more aggressive here. The tower's going to go down. He doesn't really have anything to clear. The side camps are out, so Agni missing a big opportunity to push up that mid tower and get some damage on top of it. The minions will do damage, but he definitely could have done a lot more getting in there and forcing it up quicker if he used more spells like Path of Flames, knowing that Poseidon was over there. So at this point, Poseidon's going to finish off Doom Orb. That could be a benefit, or it could be a big downside. Now, Doom Orb is an item I personally don't like. I don't think mages have the survivability, have the position that they need to stay alive. If someone wants to kill a mage and they commit to it, it's very hard for many mages to avoid that kind of death. Poseidon especially, who has the movement speed, is very slippery in that fashion, but doesn't have a dash like Agni, and is going to require some support. But, you know, given the fact that Poseidon is a burst-type god, that Doom Orb is going to do some work. Left side, Spankle in some trouble here. Nath going after it, unravels on the ground. Sobek wants it. Chunga goes in, doesn't have the heal just yet. One more hit, backflip, isn't going to be enough. One more basic attack. And Chunga was not able to get the zone out. Not enough disruption. Spirit Arrow as well as the Sobek ultimate will prove to be her fall as well. And now a gank in the right side lane. Tyr going to come in blue stance instead of the offensive stance. No juggle there, and Odin will be just fine.
I don't know if that was an accident or if he was just trying to get in and force Odin to back off, because Odin, of course, does have a 3-level advantage. Well, did have a 3-level advantage on Tyr when he showed up, who's only at level 6. Fenrir on the hunt now, looking to eat his other hand, if at all possible. Tyr looks like he's unaware. He pushed into the blue cap. He's pinging like crazy right now, trying to get Chronos to rotate around and help him out, because he can't really do anything while Fenrir is right there. He's kind of forced to just hang out and wait, because Fenrir will go in on him, and it's going to be a difficult fight for Tyr when he's 1 level below.
Yeah, at this point, you look at 7-1, Fenrir ultimate, Ragnarok, right beside, right at the center, Whirlpool title surge, and I'm pretty sure there was a Tyr in the jungle at some point. That level of teamwork was fantastic to watch, and Poseidon, who is now level 11, 3-0-0 with a finished Doom Orb, is sitting at 4,600 gold versus Agni's 36 with 1,000 gold individually ahead of his lane opponent, and proving to be a little bit too much for Jones Street to deal with. 2,800 gold overall for Turnbull ACS, as well as 5,800 experience. And like I was about to go into, Fenrir zoning out the enemy jungle while losing some experience on his own. Not really going to prove to be too detrimental. Agni getting forced out in the mid lane. He's going to walk back through the Whirlpool yet again. Tidal Surge not going to have the distance. As we talked about in the picking stage, that Tidal Surge is such a hit or miss ability.
It's so hard to land, and like you were saying the other day, it just doesn't do enough damage for how difficult and how slow it is to land that title surge. Kronos getting bullied into his tower right now by Odin, and Fender just hanging out. Fender's still in the right side. He's just chilling. He's just over here. I'm not really sure why or what exactly he's going for, but he is going to find Chunga on his way back to mid, as well as Tyr. Charge Spray going to come out on Chunga from Sobek, but there's no follow-up at all here. Fender jumping in now. There he goes. They're going on Chunga. Lurking in the water's use. Ultimate comes out from Chong and from Tyr. Lots of damage going on on the Fender. Are they going to be able to finish him off is the question. He brutalizes away. Chunga able to dance the Neath arrow, keeping herself alive. The charge spray throws Tyr toward the wolf, and the wolf does not want the Tyr. He says, please stop, Sobek. I don't want him to eat me. Well, Poseidon shows back up in mid lane, throws out a title surge, gets stunned, and Tyr is unable to finish up on that. Can't capitalize at all, really. Poseidon trying to go in, trying to make something happen. He does have his Kraken available. He's just waiting for a good opportunity, which might be right here. Everyone's kind of together, and here comes Sobek.
Not going to go in on that one, just going to let that one go. I mean, they're 8-1 right now. They have the mid tower pressured. If they're going to back off, they're going to get this tower for sure. Left lane, we have two hunters going up against us. They're Neath level 10 versus level 8 Artemis. Level 7 Tyr in the jungle versus level 9 Fenrir. Fenrir spending a lot of his time shutting down. Charge Spray not going to land there in the mid lane. Handed the gods just to send a message. Not exactly sure why Sobek wanted to throw that one out, but he definitely did. And now message received. Tyr in the mid lane defending this tower up, and this tower is under so much pressure. It's dropping down to about 25% HP, and it looks like it's going to be pressured down pretty soon here if they can continue on with applying the heat. Fenrir in the jungle, clear out these side camps. Right side camp is down, and now going to spawn right back up. So more gold for them to get. 90 gold per camp. I mean, you compare that to around 150 gold per kill. I mean, 2 camps, that's more than a kill you'd get. So the farm is so important, and they're getting kills and the jungle camps. Turnbull ACS is just scaling out of control right now.
Tyr in a bad situation. Here comes Fender jumping in. Looks like they're going to look to steal that speed buff, but they're unsuccessful as Tyr gets it with the hog. Fender now ults up, going for the Agni, but Agni dashes away, so unfortunately, a wasted ult from Fender. Unfortunately for him, nothing really to do there. I was laughing a little bit. Odin in the right lane was just standing on the edge of Kronos' tower. And Kronos was just hitting him in the face, and Odin was just standing there. Because Odin absolutely does not care. Mid tower goes down. It looks like Fenrir's in a lot of trouble right now, but he's able to jump away with one of his 47 escapes and get to safety. While Sobek takes the brunt of the big assault here. Poseidon still holding on to that Kraken, waiting for an opportune time. Chunga is very low. This might be... Here comes Agni getting thrown out. There goes the Kraken onto Agni, and Agni is going to go down. Fenrir trying to go on this Tyr, and down he goes. Tyr made a mistake, losing his other hand to the dog, as he wanted earlier. Made a mistake chasing him down there. Probably should not have tried to cash in on that one.
Yeah, he wanted to get that through, but he doesn't really realize how far behind he is right now with a fully stacked Heartseeker on the Fenrir 3-0-1 versus Tyr, who's just basically boasting reinforced Greaves, or just regular Greaves there, not even finishing off the boots with Fist of the Gods, so he doesn't really have the damage output he needs to go toe-to-toe with Fenrir there. And then in the mid lane, the tower going down, it's a 3,000 gold for Turnbull ACS on top of the gold they already have. It's going to put them at 5,000 gold, up 9,500 experience. 11 minutes and 12 seconds into this match. They're 10-1 with a tower lead, gold lead, experience lead. I mean, Jones Street Boys right now is heading towards the point where they'll be on tilt, and they need to start grouping up and getting some kills. Tyr needs to focus on farming. He's definitely way behind. He's actually under Chunga in farm right now. He's actually going to be 600 gold behind the enemy Guardian Sobek. And at this point, Tyr is just irrelevant until he starts getting that farm back up.
Fenrir has 1,400 gold, and up to a second ago was 3 levels above the enemy jungle. Now he's going to be going in on Kronos. There is the ultimate we were waiting for. We're probably going to see a rewind. There it is. Kronos is going to get the rewind, but it's not going to take him out of the Odin ring, unfortunately. Tyr, however, is going to insert himself in here. Fearless Fenrir away into the tower. Tower does manage to finish off Fenrir. That last shot landing right after Fenrir does. Sobek coming in with the ultimate, trying to finish up Kronos. Kronos, of course, does not have his ult to use. There goes the charge spray. Odin wants this. The Neath ultimate's coming in on Kronos. They're trying to body block for it, but Sobek is able to finish him off before the ult even comes in. So the Neath ultimate's not going to find any targets there, but he's going to die regardless.
Charge spray on Tyr, not done yet. Tail to come out. He can actually dash away from things. He can juggle him into tower range, but here comes Odin. Chunga ultimate, keeping the Sobek there. There's the slow. It's not going to be enough, though. There goes the Gungnir's might right on top of Tyr. Tyr's going to fall down. to Odin's spear. They're going to back off here, and Chunga trying to get something done. In the meantime, Poseidon gets a solo kill on Agni in the mid lane, and Chunga is charged with a 3v1. Brutalize might come out here if they want to go for it. They're just diving in and out of tower. This is just musical tower shots here as they just swap off turns. But again, Tyr goes down. Agni goes down. So many kills for Turnbull, and might not be done yet as they go after the Chunga. Pops the 2. Might buy some time. There's a stun. They're going to get the Fenrir. Beautiful 2 activation from the Chunga and follow-up from the Chronos.
Fenrir gets carried to tower by Fearless and dies. Respawns, come right back, dives the tower again, and dies again. It's like Fenrir is just... It's difficult to train this dog sometimes. He doesn't understand what you're trying to teach him, which is don't walk into the right tower because you will keep dying. Stop diving. You're not tanky at all. You can't handle this. And that Fenrir has a Heartseeker, so he just trashed himself twice and is now going to be riding basically nothing on that Heartseeker. So that's most of his physical power gone.
Looking at the active items here, we see 3 Hand of the Gods on Turnbull ACs. Fist of the Gods on Tyr, of course, a reminder, has recently been nerfed, a longer cooldown, as well as the fact that it doesn't execute objectives anymore, so no one really, besides Sobek, has an execute on the minions. See 10% on Tier 2 Hand of the Gods. Fist of the Gods does not have that active anymore. So if they're going for a Gold Fury, it's going to be in favor of Sobek if they can get in there. And I think if I was Chang'e right now, given the fact that they're so behind, they want to actually max out that Hand of the Gods and try to steal away some objectives, especially Gold Fury or Fire Giant if they can get something. And it pulls them back into the game a little bit at a time without having to go for some big engagements here. Speaking of engagements, right side lane getting pushed up. Odin by himself getting hit by the Tyr. Can Tyr juggle him up? Gonna dug him right into the Chronos. They have enough damage is the question. Does he have an ultimate? No, he does not, but Fenrir is here to join in. And also left side tower being pressured by Poseidon and Neith. They're getting hit by everyone on all fronts, and level 18 Poseidon makes team fights challenging.
Sobek got knocked very low in the right lane. Kronos rewound up to him to try and finish him off, and Odin used his ultimate to trap Kronos and let Sobek get away. And now Tyr in a very bad spot. Down he goes to the Neith ultimate. That's another kill on the Tyr right there, who is just so far behind. Like you said, he's not even relevant. The lowest farmed in the lobby with less farm than Chang'e. Tyr can't really make anything happen. But, I mean, if you're going to be underfarmed on someone, at least Tyr is someone who brings a lot of CC and a lot of control. So even though he's not bringing any damage at all, just the fact that he's Tyr and he can pick people up with Fearless is going to help out a lot. Odin's just standing in tower, taking everything on the chin, not caring at all about anything that happens. And now Poseidon rotates over to right lane as well with the Kraken, ready to make something happen.
Poseidon has yet to die, 5-0-0, does have that fully stacked Doom Orb, a lot of penetration, and CDR with his shoes, as well as the Void Stone, and then go right into Obsidian Shard. Charge Spray to come out from Sobek. They want to get something here. The main's being pushed back pretty effectively, but Turnbull looking for the opportunity. There's the Whirlpool. He's waiting for an opportunity to present itself where he can release the Kraken from below and get some burst damage on top. And burst damage is a pretty apropos phrase there. As you can see, level 18, level 19 now with the Doom Orb and the penetration, it's going to hurt a lot. And I think, Jones Street is really trying to avoid that the best they possibly can. Level 13 Augie, level 11 Chang'e, level 19 Poseidon. It's not looking so great, and they have to tread very lightly here.
I think at this point we can pretty accurately describe Poseidon's Kraken burst damage as a Kraken insta-kill. Is pretty much what it's going to be when he ends up going in. Mid lane, we have Tyr and Artemis forcing the Fenrir back out, while in the right lane, the nonsense continues here. Agni rotating over. Here goes Sobek with the ultimate. The Neith ultimate's coming, but it gets caught on Agni. Sobek realizes, changes targets, but he Path of Flames out. Odin drops his ring, capturing only Kronos. Fenrir picks him up and just kind of carries him over that general direction. The Chang'e ultimate comes down. Fenrir taking a lot of damage. He's able to jump away, but Tyr jumps after him. Can Tyr finish him off is the question. No, not with that charge spray. Spangle taking down IR's move. Odin is actually going to fall there. So this is going to be a good kill in the right lane for the Jones Street boys. But meanwhile, Poseidon and Neith picked up a free Gold Fury completely unopposed, while all 5 members rotated over to right lane for that one kill.
So they got one kill there. In the meantime, Turnbull got the Gold Fury. So a pretty good trade for Turnbull, getting a little bit more gold and experience. That objectives down. Now it's Sobek by himself. The stun's going to come out. Can they get enough damage off? 4 players laying into him. They still can't get the kill. It might be enough here. Flame Wave comes out, and that's a dead Sobek. The tower should go down pretty soon here. But in the meantime, they're trading a Tier 1 and a Sobek. for a tier 2, and they get Agni. Turnbull is pulling ahead in every single aspect. They traded 1 kill for a Gold Fury, and then they traded a support Guardian and a tower for a tier 2 tower and a mage. Everything is going in favor of Turnbull, and you can see that on the graph right now. 10,700 gold, 15,800 experience at the 18-minute mark. Squiddish, 15-5. They're in complete control right now.
The real problem right now is that Jones Street Boys seem to be committing very, very hard to fights and kills that absolutely don't matter. Like the kill on that Sobek. 4 players committed to diving that Sobek under tower for no reason. It's Sobek. Like, what do you gain from that? There's no benefit. And now, a minute later, they're even losing the tower they were trying to defend in lane anyway. So not only did they give up their left lane tier 2, they've lost everything but their right lane tier 2 tower now. They're down 5 towers versus Turnbull. Odin going to jump into the blue camp and just kind of walk away here because there's nothing more they really need in this right lane at the moment.
Push on the mid lane is going to be the Agni. Chang'e makes her way over, and the jungle might get caught. Is the tier here as Poseidon Neath are going to rotate. Whirlpool's on the ground. He's going to jump away just in time, barely getting that off there. Of course, the ultimate is not prevented by Cripple anymore. Those were dark days. In the right lane, Charge Break to come back here from the Sobek. Sickening Strike going to come out as well. Doing a little bit of damage here. There's a stun from the Chronos. Rotation from behind with Fenrir and Neath. Will it be enough? The damage coming through. There is going to be the Fearless. It doesn't do anything to Fenrir. Ragnarok comes out. Gonna grab the Chang'e in immunity and do nothing there. Chang'e ultimate burst damage. There's a follow-up stun coming through. Is it gonna be enough? It will get Fenrir, and now Neath being backed up into the jungle here as Agni floating like a butterfly and stinging like Agni here. Sobek on the ground. There goes the turn water, and the flame wave comes out as well. So 1-for-1 exchange, jungler for jungler. But of course, there is a Heartseeker on Fenrir. They just lost half its stacks, and definitely Fenrir is worth way more than the level 11 tier. So Jones Street Boys actually came out on top on that one.
Poseidon just casually doing a gold camp in the background while this fight is taking place, absolutely disinterested in what's going on. Poseidon does not really care about your problems. Poseidon is not interested. Poseidon has Furious to kill. Farming up a little bit, getting some gold before simply just going home. There doesn't seem to be a ton of coordination coming out from either team, but right now it's just the individual battles, the individual picks that Turnbull's getting, and then the calls from Jones Street Boys to just engage on these tanks and just hyper-focus these tanks that are making the difference right now. In addition to, you know, the 5 towers worth of gold. That's a pretty large amount of gold that Turnbull has picked up just by pushing down these objectives.
Mid lane, we're going to see him push up here. Tier going to get jumped on by Sobek, not going to get grabbed up though. Neath looking for opportunities. Basic attacks coming through. Charge Spray should be coming up pretty soon here. Are they going to grab someone up? And look at the amount of damage that Neath is doing. It's so hard for them to keep up with this left tower now being pushed up by Poseidon. And no one really wants to jump in on Poseidon. He throws his ultimate to clear the way, but now what does he do? As right side lane, Kronos gets a kill on Odin and then rewinds his way away. Great play there by the Chronos. Fenrir not even close enough to rotate from that one. Neath on the backside looking for opportunity to initiate. Spirit Arrow gonna land. There's a few basic attacks. Rewind is on cooldown, pushing him directly into Fenrir. Neath ultimate. Sobek ultimate. That's a dead Chronos as the Brutalize comes out. A 1-for-1 exchange, but Chronos did lose stacks on his Doom Orb, unfortunately enough. Left Phoenix being solo pushed by Poseidon, and looks like they're going to try and jump on this one. He is very squishy if they want to go for it, but they're pretty scared. I mean, does he have a Gem of Isolation? No, but he has Polynomicon and a very big, scary Kraken.
He has a large squid and a Polynomicon, and he is going to hurt a lot if he decides to throw that Kraken out. It's going to nearly one-shot that Agni or that Artemis. He is going to do so much damage because he is so very, very farmed. 5-0. That fully stacked Doom Orb is going to hurt so very much. Neath alone in the mid lane right now, faced up against Agni and Tyr, who are just going to fall back and let Neath just push away at this wave, I suppose. There's nothing really they can do to push out here. Right now, they need to group up. The Jones Street Boys need to group together, need to push as a unit, and need to try and get a couple picks. Like this Poseidon, for instance, is up here by himself at 1/3 of his HP. They could squish him pretty quickly, like you said. They had Neath in the mid lane alone. They need to take some of these opportunities, because if they just sit back at their Phoenixes and wait, they're going to wait until Turnbull has all 5 of their members of the Fire Giant and are just walking all over him.
They're going to push him back here. Gold Fury is going to be freely taken by Turnbull ACS. There really isn't anything Jones Street can do about it. They're going to farm up the jungle, push the waves up with that Phoenix in the left lane. A little bit damaged at half HP right now. Fire Giant is available. Map vision 100% goes to Turnbull with one tower down versus all the towers down on Jones Street's side. 22 minutes and 40 seconds into this match, a 10 kill differential in favor of Turnbull. And with that tower kills, I mean, look at this. You have three tier 2 towers and 2 tier 1 towers. That's going to be 6,500 gold. That's just about under half, actually about a third, almost a third of the gold difference is just towers for Turnbull. And Jones Street, I mean, they're in a tough spot. They can't really leave their base. They can't contest any objectives. They can't push up for towers. They can't win on even footing because they're so far behind. They need Turnbull to screw up, and they have to be ready when they do.
And right now, they've been kind of hanging out right in front of their Phoenixes for quite some time. So they're getting aggressive. They're getting to that point where they're getting a bit cocky. And they might make a mistake here. They might screw something up, get overly aggressive, try to force an engagement that's not really in their favor. And Jones Street boys might be able to capitalize on that pretty hard. But we'll have to see. They're pushing down in all three lanes right now. Neath in mid, Fenrir in the right, and Sobek and Odin in the left lane, with Poseidon just off doing whatever he really feels like doing at this point. So everyone's spread out. They're pushing all three lanes, but no one's able so far to actually make a move into Phoenix range.
Poseidon's just going to go attack the Fire Giant because he says, you know what, I want this. Look at the damage. He might actually kill the Fire Giant here with the Polynomicon rotation, but he's very, very squishy. Actually, the Poseidon drops about half HP. The AoE is going to bring him very low. Neath very low as well. They might have to leash it here if someone doesn't come along quickly. The damage, it's so much. Neath! Neath, no! She backflips away, and the backflip will kill it. In fact, Poseidon and Neath duo the Fire Giant. And I'm so... can you imagine just sitting in the lane watching Fenrir just appear with a Fire Giant buff?
That's just...
It just pops around as well on a waist.
This is the epitome of Poseidon is doing whatever he pleases at this point. When he just walks up and starts soloing Fire Giant, Poseidon's just like, yeah, I feel like this right now. Let's solo Fire Giant. Neef, come help me. Neef shows up, almost dies. Poseidon just dumps damage. Even just his Whirlpool at this point is hitting so ridiculously hard. He's got his finish, Pursuit of Focus, his Void's down his Obsidian Shard, so he's going to shred their protections. He doesn't care. His Kraken's going to hit so very hard, and if you're still alive, he's got a Polynomicon proc to finish off your stunned corpse with. It's just, I don't know what you do as Jones Street boys right now.
They're in a tough spot and they have to be very defensive here. I'm really surprised to see Turnbull just farming it up instead of going for a push. I mean, given the fact that they're over at 18,000 gold up right now, 22,000 experience, they have Fire Giant. Even in a straight-up team fight on a Phoenix, I don't know if Jones Street boys, if properly played, can win this one out. There's a stun split up here. Fenrir gets jumped on. This might be a kill for them. They're so spread out right now. Poseidon's not in place. Neath's going for the split push in the left lane. Tyr jumps in. Ragnarok gets activated. Sobek in the water here, slowing them down. In the meantime, split pushing the right side. Poseidon and Odin going to try and get that Phoenix. They're just all over the place. Poseidon backs up. Odin's still going for it. Poseidon looking for opportunity to throw down that Kraken. Odin ultimate, trapping them inside, jumps away. The Phoenix drops about half HP. They're just putting everything to split up here. Man, they just need to focus on one Phoenix and they'd kill it outright. Actually, they're going to kill on Kronos, who goes too far against Poseidon and gets eaten by the Kraken. Now slowed down. The Polynomicon is too much for Agni as Poseidon solo kills two people in the right lane. And now the right Phoenix goes down. The left Phoenix is exposed. What can they really do?
Poseidon's just going into the Minotaur by himself. He's just going on Chong, and suddenly 3/4 of her HP just disappears. But Poseidon, you are not invulnerable, and if there's a Minotaur actively wailing on your forehead, as well as the entirety of the Jones Street boys, you're gonna die. And that's exactly what happened. Fenrir and Neath able to finish off the middle Phoenix, so that's all three Phoenixes down now. Poseidon does what Poseidon pleases, but this time he dies. Look at the burst! Just the chunking on Artemis. Fenrir's leap. Fenrir's leap did like half of Artemis's health. They're just so farmed right now. But with this Fire Giant buff, I don't see anywhere they're going to stop this minnow kill.
Minnow being forced back. They're trying to put some defense up here. Poseidon going to be respawning pretty soon in 15 seconds on that one. Does he have a teleport? He does not. He has a blink, and he can run out as soon as he possibly can. Actually, he can teleport to the mid tower, so that's still alive. 4 players are bearing down on top of Minotaur. Sobek slowing him down. Fenrir ultimate, bringing him down. Odin ultimate, trapping them away. They can't protect their own Minotaur because they're in timeout right now. And the Minotaur drops lower and lower. Path of Flames is out. Is it going to be enough? They just need a little bit more, and the Minotaur will go down. That is going to be a victory for Turnbull ACS. 20-8 with a 21,000 gold differential.
Odin timeout. I am stuck on the Odin timeout right now. That was just beautiful. You just see Chunga and Agni and Kronos just in this Odin ring, just like, well, crap. We can't get out there. We can't help. We're slightly too far away to hit them with most of our stuff. You see Chunga fling her ult out of the Odin ring, stunning a couple. At the end of the day, it didn't make any difference whatsoever. But everybody just stuck in the Odin ring in the corner, just watching their Minotaur die.
Recall being picked up by Neath. Defender's build, actually, I think would be over cap. With Titan's Bane, Focus Void Blade, Warrior Tabi, and then going to Jotun's Wrath, I think that has far too much penetration. But as you can see with the leap that he had there, he was doing nearly true damage to the Chunga, if not complete true damage, even with the Breastplate of Valor there. We do actually see a lot of bursts coming out from Poseidon. In fact, he died once and lost those Doom Orb stacks, but beyond that, he had the stacks the entire game. Towards the end was the only time where that was threatened. I think one of the biggest downfalls here for Jones Street Boys was the fact that Tier got shut down early and then went for defensive items. He just did not have any damage. Time and time again, we saw him jump out with the ultimate and do just a sliver of their HP. The juggles were good for positioning, but just didn't put out any damage. So he put a lot of reliance on Agni, Artemis, and Chunga. Kronos did the damage for them. And with the fact that Kronos had Doom Orb, lost his stacks consistently, Artemis had the Heartseer, lost her stacks consistently, and Agni, who was far behind everyone else, in fact, almost tied with Tier for farm. Agni and Tier had a tough time dealing out the damage that their team needed, and that gave plenty of wiggle room for Turnbull ACs to win this matchup quite handily. 7-1-0 on Poseidon. Poseidon doesn't have a single assist because he spent most of his time doing other things in the jungle, wandering around, and only showed up to one-shot someone and get his own kills. But you can see the damage output he did. 13,000 damage in a 30-minute game versus Nathan. 19,000 damage. Kronos at 20,000 actually, and Agni at 15,000. But I think a lot of Poseidon's damage was just on one person who he's killing.
Yeah, I'm not 100% positive Poseidon was aware he had teammates. Because he, the whole game, just floated around and did what he pleased and ended up 7-0 until he walked into the base and tried to man mode basically the whole enemy team while the Minotaur was actively destroying him, which he couldn't quite stand up to that. But everything else, like you said, no assist because he just floated around and blew somebody up and then floated back over to whatever he felt like doing at that particular time.
Very strong matchup here for Turnbull ACs. We're going to go ahead and head into the next matchup, which is going to be... Looks like we're going to be heading into... well, actually, we'll check on the brackets. Let's see what's going on right now. Turnbull ACs, and as well as the Jones Street Boys, which you just watched. Turnbull did win that one out. We'll bring it back with the next matchup of the day. We're going to figure out what's going on here, and we'll bring that up on screen. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And again, remember that we are also running the Divine Intervention Tournament, which is going to be happening in December. But today only, if you donate to that cause, whether it be CrowdWise or PayPal, the link I posted up in chat will give you the information you need to donate to that. You have the possibility of winning a God Pack or 800 gems for today during the duration of this tournament. So make sure you go donate to that. It goes directly to charity 100%. We don't see any of it. We're just trying to help out the disaster relief, I guess, benefiters or benefactors, the people that are surviving from that, the people who are suffering from any kind of natural disaster like the typhoon in the Philippines. You'll be helping out a lot of good things, and you have a chance to win stuff as well as participating in the Divine Intervention Tournament happening in December. We're going to cut to a brief break, guys. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you soon. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Oh, this? You want to know how you could win all this, and much, much more, huh? Let's get started. Introducing Divine Intervention, a charity tournament hosted by Tiermonster.com, with all proceeds going to American Red Cross to aid them in their global disaster relief